Welcome again, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about another phylum in the animal kingdom today. And this phylum is important or peculiar because this is the last phylum when it comes to the animal kingdom. In the animal kingdom, I've thought about the acronym which we can use to remember all the phyla in the animal kingdom. I started with the Protozoa, Porifera, Cnidaria, Ocolectrenta, the Platyhelminthes, Mollusca, Annelida, Arthropoda, the Echinodermata, then the Chordata, which we are studying now. And this phylum is important because this is the phylum that serves as a bridge between the invertebrates and the vertebrates. The animals I've mentioned now are grouped under the invertebrates, and of course, we have the vertebrates, the pisces, the amphibians, the reptiles, the apes, and the mammals. So this is the phylum that are kind of is standing on two legs. One is for invertebrates and the other is for vertebrates. So these are some of the characteristics of this phylum. The first is the presence of notochord. So you discover that they have this rod-like structure that is called the notochord. Now, by the time they advance into vertebrates, the vertebrate chordata or vertebrate chordate. Now, this notochord transforms into what is now called the backbone or the vertebral column. Then the second one is the presence of dorsal hollow nerve cord. Dorsal hollow nerve cord. So this is a network of a tube-like structure, a tube-like nerve structure that runs through the back or the dorsal side of this invertebrate caudate. And in vertebrates, this dorsal hollow nerve cord transforms into the brain and the spinal cord. The other one is the presence of the pharyngeal gill slit. Pharyngeal gill slit. This is also another important characteristic in members of invertebrate chordates, in the sense that you discover that it actually helps them in respiration. And for vertebrates, you discover that this pharyngeal gill slit transforms into the gills for fishes or the pisces and the amphibians. Then for reptiles, apes, and mammals, it transforms into various structures such as the eustachian tube, the the parathyroid gland, then of course the thymus gland, then again we have the tonsils. So these are some of the structures that this pharyngeal slit transforms into when it comes to vertebrates. Then another important structure or characteristics is the presence of endostyle or thyroid gland. So the other one I mentioned was a parathyroid gland. So endostyle or the thyroid gland, this one also transforms into the main thyroid gland that we see in vertebrates. They also have post-anal tail. Post-anal tail. So you also discover that they have a tail that kind of elongates beyond the anus. This tail, you know, in higher vertebrates such as man, discovered that this vertebrate was a kind of loss during embryonic development and was now transformed into what called the caucus. So that is what you see in human, and that is why you discover that humans no longer have the tail, because the tail was lost during embryonic development and was transformed into the caucus. So these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or let me say majorly 1, 2, 3, and 4 are the main characteristics of chordates. The main characteristics of chordates. The real or main characteristics of chordates are the presence of notochord, then a hollow nerve cord, pharyngeal gill slit, then post-anal tail. Then we have two other characteristics which are also important in which is good to mention, the fact that they are also bilateral symmetrical. members of chordates are bilateral symmetrical, and in addition to that, you also discover that they are unsegmented. They are unsegmented. Okay, so we see the classification of chordates. So chordates are classified into four different subphyla, and these are the first four different subphyla. So I wrote only three. Okay, the fourth one is the vertebrata. The fourth one is the vertebrata. The vertebrata. So the first one is Urochordata. I have Urochordata, Cephalocordata, Hemichordata, and non-vertebrata. So under Urochordata, we'll have the six weights or the tourniquet. Then the second group is the Cephalocordata, where you see the lancelets or the amphiosus. Then of course we'll have the Hemichordata, where you see the ascon worms. Then after this now, subphylum, the next subphylum is the vertebrata. The vertebrata. And like I said, this is the last phylum in the animal kingdom. We have the pisces, amphibians, reptiles, aves, mammals. So the vertebrata has these classes: the pisces, the amphibians, the the class of animals, class of vertebrates. So these ones are now called the vertebrates. So with this, we've studied all the different phyla in the whole of animal kingdom, and this is where we'll stop. Subsequently, when we have time, we will begin to look at some of these group of animals one after the other: the species, the amphibians, the reptiles, the aves. Talk about their characteristics, their habitats, and their classification. Their classification, like in species, we have the bony fish and the cartilaginous fish, the chondrites, and the ossicheus. The same thing applies to amphibians. We'll have different classifications of amphibians. Again, we'll have the reptiles, we'll have the eels, and the mammals. So, but we'll study that in our subsequent classes. So, this is how far we can go in the study of the whole of animal kingdom. I want to appreciate you for being part of this class. Also, share this video to as many that you know will benefit from this class. Thank you. I'm still Dr. Anukujo Nochena. See you in my next class.